Okay, it's Thursday, February 10th, 2022. It's 10:52 p.m. Eastern Time in the U.S. in New Jersey. And I'm here to tell about a dream someone had. This was on Reddit. They posted this concerning La Palma that they had 2 months ago, and I wanted to read it. They also had another dream. I might read that at the end. Um, I'm going to read the second dream that the person had on the 15th. Actually, the La Palma dream is on the 16th, so I'll read that one first and then maybe go back to the other one. I do feel very heavy-hearted having to come on here to talk about this. Really, I truly do, though very peaceful. So the person retells the dream by starting out and he said, I became suddenly tired earlier than I usually would fall asleep. It was 7 p.m. Eastern Time when I laid down to sleep, and I was probably asleep within 10 minutes. I started to dream for what really only felt like 5 minutes' time. The dream starts off with me getting a critical alert notification that bypasses DND mode, silenced ringer, volume muted, etc. on my phone. I pick it up to see that a 7.8 magnitude earthquake has struck the Canary Islands. With what's been going on the past 3 months there, my mind in my dream knew exactly what that meant. So I checked the Tsunami tab on the earthquake app I have installed on my phone that sent out the alert to me. I see that a tsunami warning was issued out, but I don't know or wasn't necessarily told where it would impact. All the tsunami warning told me in all capital letters was total destruction. In shock and fear, I rushed to show my mother the alert, and she stared in shock without saying a word. I began to cry out to Jesus, and then I woke up from the dream. Based on these things, it's not rocket science to connect the pieces together. La Palma has collapsed and was sending off the mega tsunami we've all been fearing for the past few months since activity began. Alright, so now the first dream that he posted at the start of this post, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'll just give you a basic idea about it because I think it also sort of has an indication about La Palma, not directly, but he was talking about the fact that in the dream there were air raid sirens blaring and blasting, and then this eerie silence and really thick, dark black clouds that looked really full and menacing, threatening. And then he said that at the end, he said air raid sirens were still going on, and the next thing that happened is what I feared the most. Some kind of BOMB or hypersonic ballistic missile hit the Earth close by to where we were running towards. I only heard the initial impact but didn't see the blast or anything like that. From here, my brother opened my bedroom door in real life at the exact same time of the sound from whatever hit the Earth in my dream. I woke up instantly, and that was that. Just a dream, but a warning. I only slept for 1.5 hours in this time frame. So that was on 12/15, just a few months ago, and the first one I read was right after it, the next night on 12/16. So he got the La Palma reference dream the next night, like I'm saying, which I read first, but I wanted to go over the La Palma one first. So anyway, actually the most important part that I almost skipped here, that he added right at the end of this dream about something hitting the earth. He said, "I must mention that there seemed to be no defense system active for whatever struck the earth. I don't believe it was a meteor because air raid sirens were going off. It was faster than our defenses. Something new, something currently being built in mass production. Hypersonic, 7 times the speed of sound." And when I heard that, he described what perfectly seems to me to be what's called the rods of God type projectile that's dropped from high up from satellites, and just the kinetic energy, or just the dropping of it from the force of gravity, can go right hundreds of feet through the earth and create a nuclear blast type explosion without any combustion. It's just a piece of rod, or long piece that's dropped, a rod, a big like pole-like object, and that's what just from it falling, it creates that repercussion. And it's interesting because I read or heard that those objects that are dropped travel 10 times the speed of sound. So I don't know, what he was basing this on, or what he was thinking, or if he even knows about what I just said with these objects, these long poles or whatever that are dropped and produce that effect. So I talked about that as far as Tonga goes, and there was footage showing that something exactly like that appeared to fall from the sky right into that volcano there. It's called Hunga Tonga, and I think Hapai is the last word for it, very long. That was the one, if you know, that made those waves and set off all the buoys in motion, tsunami buoys all around the Pacific, that everyone was worried about. And it didn't make a real big tsunami, but there was a tsunami, and I believe that might be what's going to happen with La Palma. That was sort of a forerunner, or a test maybe. So that could very well be what happens over there in the Canary Islands with a quake. And if this projectile is going to be the reason or the cause from it, it could be very likely. It could be any, several different things, but that's one very strong possibility, especially since I believe that already happened again with the Tonga so-called eruption that took place weeks ago, and did produce a tsunami in the Pacific Ocean. But the one with La Palma would be the Atlantic Ocean. And then finally, at the very end, at the close of his post, he said that these are the type dreams that I keep having. He said the exact moments before total destruction. And he said scientists have claimed that La Palma's volcano activity had come to a lull recently, which is even scarier to me than the activity that was going on before it. Why? And he mentions 1 Thessalonians 5:3, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. And then he said World War III feels to be imminent. We're closer to war now than Cold War era. La Palma's lull in activity is something we all should be considering and examining a lot more closely. I strongly am led to believe that the volcano will collapse into the ocean eventually, thus generating the mega tsunami we all fear. And in closing, I sort of intend to do more videos like this, maybe some more dreams, and also maybe to come and let's take a good look at what is going on in La Palma right this moment. I could put up the graphs and show, what's happening there, like I've been saying, and nobody's reporting on this, but I think it's important, so I wanted to show that finally, and also that there's a tremendous amount of activity going on in all of the Canary Islands right now underground. Looks like magma moving, tremors, and really all the islands. So again, I'll repeat if this actually does happen over there in La Palma, whether it's natural causes or something produces it, to cause that to happen on purpose. So I might be back within the next few days to get going on what I just said, to show those footage, those videos. The time of the rapture draws very close at hand for sure. God bless you. Amen.